Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to UnWine Speak.
Welcome, everybody.
Your host today, Stacy and Terry here. If you've never been to our channel before, please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when we upload our upcoming videos. Now, today is going to be part 2 of our conversation that we were having the other night. And the conversation was dating into a ready-made family. Now, that was a pretty lengthy video, but very, very informative.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
A little touchy, but very informative.
Exactly.
Now, you were dating into a ready-made family on the last episode, but now we married into this ready-made family.
Exactly.
My husband has a lot of experience about that. So now you've become a step parent in this family.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm gonna let my husband talk to you a little bit about that.
I mean, that's it. Like, as soon as she says that, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Just not good. Not good memories. I'm being honest. Nothing. I don't have any good memories. Like, that's just not the. That's the first thing I think of when she say about step parenting or me being a step parent. It just wasn't good at all. So hopefully, you guys out there have a better experience. But for me, it was rough. Like majority of the whole time.
And that was very hard for everyone involved. It was hard for me. It was hard for my husband. It was hard for the children. I think that a lot of times that children that are already established, it's hard for them to be able to take directive, if you will, from someone that's not their biological parent. Sometimes they try to play both ends to the middle sometimes, which is not fair. And other times they can be very rebellious. I'm just going to touch a little bit on a subject. I was not a step parent legally. But before I met my husband, I was a live-in kind of common law step mother. I was young, 19 years old, had a child, and my child had a sister that was 10 days older than her. And I tried to be there. It was hard already as a young mother at 19 years old, 18 years old. By the time I was 19, I was on my second child. But, and my daughter at the time, when I was 19, my first child was 3 years old. And so she had a sibling that was, like I say, less than 2 weeks older than she was. That was something that was really, really hard for me. Just dealing with having a new child, also dealing with the ups and downs of the relationship, and me finding myself being very pissed off is what I'm going to say, that about the whole situation. And at the time, because I was young, I wasn't a type of person that liked to party and stuff like that. I feel like I was stuck with this child. And not only stuck with this child, when I say stuck with this child, is because the child that was made outside of my relationship had started living with me. Because their parent was a partier and I was not. And so my boyfriend at the time was trying to do the right thing by his child, but I think that he just didn't understand that it was kind of like a spit in my face every day.
Because you're raising a child that was gotten.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got it. Hey,
yes.
Let them know, babe,
it was.
So they
yes.
can be
The child
clear.
was conceived while I was in a relationship with this other man, and I felt
so
like
he
it
cheated.
was. Yeah, he cheated.
He
cheated.
Say it out, baby. I know. But we gotta make it clear so they know understand.
And it was very heartbreaking for me as a young teenager myself. So he and I argued a lot about it. And I'm just going to put it out there because a lot of things I held in. I didn't talk about it. People knew that I was sometimes really angry. And that is why. Because I'm looking at this child that was conceived in the midst of my relationship, as well as looking at a child that looked just like her mother. There was no way of getting around it. And when I did this, the mom wanting to party and stuff like that, didn't want to raise a kid, and her other child was older, But after doing all the hard work of Pampers, potty training, all of that stuff that a mother has to do and that is supposed to do, I was having to do it with 2 children.
First, let me say that says a lot about you for raising a kid or a child that was that your boyfriend, I guess at the time, got on you while y'all was together, and for you to actually be, I mean, I know it's not the child's fault, but for you to actually go through and be raising a child, and that anybody would say that's
hard.
tough. I can't even believe that, so.
It was very hard because the trust was gone, and I was trying to think, in a mature way, but still being a child myself, having to make decisions that a grown-ass person would make. But, some people may say, well, you had a kid, you were doing grown folks' business, and I get that. I get that. But I feel like some things shouldn't happen, But it did. A lot of things that I've been through in my life has made me the person that I am today. And it has not always been peaches and cream. Still now, it's not peaches and cream. Life is life, and you have to deal with the different obstacles and everything that you encounter each and every day. So it was hard, and when we discussed the things that my husband endured, I was trying to understand where he was coming from as being a somewhat step parent myself at one point. But then it was hard when it's your child,
Yeah.
If you didn't get to watch our first episode, there will be a link below that will allow you to look at that episode and get a little bit more insight as to what we're speaking about. But just being a step parent and being in the middle, being the primary parent, it was very, very hard.
Yeah, it was. I've learned some things now, but like then, I was doing what I thought was right. I was doing the best that I could. I thought that I was being a good step parent. I did my best. Then, I was thinking that okay. I tried to make sure, we give them the things that they wanted or the things that I knew that would get them excited. Honestly, I guess maybe I didn't do too much. I did the small things. I made sure they had the material things, the new shoes, new games for the game system, stuff like that. That I knew that they wanted, but I guess they wanted time. The father figure, in their life that they were missing, and me not having any children and coming into meeting, her and trying to step in, I didn't know how to be a father figure. I didn't know how to give him the time to take him with me every time I'm going out and to actually talk to him and teach him different things. I didn't know anything about that. I just didn't even, it wasn't important to me. I wanted to have my own time. I was selfish. I wanted to go out and chill. No, you're not going with me. And no, I'm not going to take time to sit here and show you how to do this. But now it really made a big difference. And then we start going through so much because I guess all they wanted, I guess, baby, is that time with me. I mean, or just wanted a father figure to listen to them, to show them how to do things, to spend time with them, and I didn't do it. I don't know. It wasn't good.
It wasn't good, and one of the things that stood out for me, and I spoke with my husband about this a little bit after we started having a lot of issues with my then teenage son, When I first moved to where my husband lived, he promised my son that, my son loved to play basketball. So he says, I like to play basketball too, which my husband was the star of his basketball team. So that really excited my son. So he told my son, let me put it like this. It was his words. My son didn't ask for these words. He told him, yes, I play basketball, so when you guys move where I live, we can go play basketball all the time. Well, that never happened. It never happened.
Say it never happened. I mean, I did. It wasn't like what I had promised. It wasn't like I promised.
You guys never went and played basketball, babe.
Baby,
Only when we moved in this house, you did. But we were in the apartment for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I know it wasn't definitely like what I said, but I know that I did a little bit though, but it wasn't a couple of times, I guess, out of all the years.
And at the time, my son was preteen, and he was very excited about my relationship. All my children were, because I had finally found someone that really showed me genuine love, and my children were old enough to witness that when they had already been witnessing devastation and that I had went through in other relationships. So when they saw me in this relationship, they were very happy for me. They were very happy for me. They opened their arms to my husband. But like we said in the first episode, he just didn't know how to be a parent. And I needed that because he was my better half. Because now we're married.
Yes. I don't know. I didn't know how to do it, y'all. I did what I thought was best, but I wasn't given no time. I was used to being by myself. Coming home from work, whatever, closing the door or going to the room. If I'm watching the game by myself. Going to the store by myself. I wasn't used to like a child being, asking you so many questions and you answering their questions, having that little small talk like with a kid, and how they just ask crazy questions and just little cute stuff and talking. That wasn't my thing, that to people, some people, they think that's cute and stuff like that. To me, they aggravated me, asked me a million questions. It was aggravating. It wasn't cute to me. I don't want to go through all day talking about little cute stuff, and I didn't want to do it. So I didn't do it.
He did not.
I didn't do it.
I do have to say honestly now, because of everything that we've been through, he still gets aggravated because now our son that we have together is doing those same things. All he wants is quality time. All he wants is quality time. Some of the smallest things. You can take a kid to the store and buy them a 99-cent candy bar or a 49-cent ice cream cone, and they are happier than a tick on a dog's ass.
Y'all, I'm noticing that now, and now I'm trying to make, like I said, this is my first child as far as my own child. Now, I guess being the step parent, and I don't know, I've learned a lot of different things. what to do and what not to do. And, you know, and all they want is time. It can just be a little bit, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. To take time with them, to listen to them. If there's any needs or anything that they want to talk about, spend time with them, showing them how to do this. Just, I'm still learning, like, now with my son, like, a lot with her. He'll come in and he just wants to sit on the bed beside you. He just wants to be in the bedroom watching TV with you.
I don't mind him laying in the bed with me. I don't care. He not bothering me.
So I just got to adjust, and with the questions, and you know. So I'm trying to do better now. But like I said, then as a step parent, I didn't do those things, and it really showed in the relationship. He did a lot of things. Because I guess he felt like he didn't care if he disappointed me. Why? We didn't have no bond. We didn't have any bond, so he could do whatever. He didn't care if he made me angry. He didn't care if he did stuff that really hurt me. Why? Because we had no bond. So, and he did a lot of different things, y'all. So,
and it's, you know, what was it? You said you had a conversation with your brother, right? Because it had gotten really bad that, you know, he was just reaching out because he had enough. I mean, the stuff that was going on, us having to deal with it, me as the primary parent, him as the step parent, it was so strenuous that it caused health issues. We were on the verge of divorce.
Yes. Because
I didn't want to have to choose between my child and a man, especially because my child was a minor. That was the biggest thing that my husband couldn't understand, because if the kid didn't go to school or got in trouble because he's a minor, they come looking at me.
See,
he didn't understand
kept telling me
that.
But I didn't get. I was like, man, there's so many people that had problems with their kid. Put their ass out and be done. But she was talking about, no, he has to be here. No, I didn't get that. I'm like, if we're having problems, he's causing problems, put him out. He got to go, and that's it. Let's just be done. I mean, I'm ready for him to go. Don't talk to him no more. Don't ever come to this house. I mean, everything. But I had to think about, actually, I'm sitting here talking about the lady that I love, child. How could I do that? Now I realize that I used to talk junk about him. I mean, like he was somebody on the street. And now that I think about it, that was wrong to be talking junk about somebody.
And I do believe we had a conversation about that. And I couldn't take it no more, because, I mean, I'm trying to love you, but I can't love someone that belittles. I don't care. Nobody's in this world is perfect. Nobody is. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Yeah. So we can't expect our children to be perfect. You know what I mean? It's things that we've done in our life that God forgives us for every single day. But it was something... It had got to me so bad that I told him, because like I said, we were on the verge of a divorce. I could not do it.
I mean, I think you even actually talked to my mom about it. My mom brought it up to me, and I was like,
I didn't know how to bring it to him, because he was so livid and so angry at my son that he wouldn't listen to nothing I said. So yes, I went and talked to his mother, because we have a very close relationship. I talked to his father, because I was going to leave. I was going to leave because my child was a minor. My child didn't know how to go out there and take care of himself. But the thing was, my husband said, well, if he can do this shit right here, he can take care of himself. He want to be a big man. You can't do that, because one thing about a boy, and people know that it takes men so much longer to mature than a woman. So when you're talking to a 15-year-old, yeah, their age may say that they're 15, but mentally for a male, they're still at 10 years old. And I had to explain to my husband like this. Every time he would get into it with my son, we took him and got him a part-time job. Every time that he would get in trouble about something, he would go to work and he would bring us stuff back from his job. He was so excited to bring us stuff back from his job. Food, cookies. I saw you rolling your eyes, but he brought cookies, food.
At this time,
but that was his way. That's what kids do.
But
they try to feed back into you.
Did I care about them cookies? I love food. Did I care about them cookies? No, don't bring me no cookies. I was done. You done stress me out all the time. I'm arguing with my wife, we about close to a divorce because you doing all this craziness, and I'm upset with you, and I'm done. When I'm ready for you to get up out of our house, and I never see you again. I'm talking junk about you. I don't want nothing to do with you, but she wants to. It was too much, y'all. I didn't care about no cookies.
Well, like I told him, I was at that point where I was done, and as much as I loved him, I would have left. I would have left. And I had to, I prayed about it. And one day I talked to him. We were standing in the bathroom, and I said, I just really need to tell you something. And I told him, I know that you and my son don't see eye to eye. The bond, like my husband said, was never built.
Yeah.
It was never built. Because it's not always about what you can buy for a child. It's the quality time, the things that you can teach them. Something that you teach a child is something that they're going to remember. Material things, they come and go. They break. It's over with. But things that you teach them that they can use for the longevity of their life is the things that's going to mean the most. So I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You say that you love me. If you love me, you would dare talk junk about any of my children. I don't care what they do. You shouldn't be talking junk about them, and you say that you love me, because at the end of the day, I don't care if they're putting dirt on their face, your face, or my face. At the end of the day, they are still my children because they came out of my ass. You understand what I'm saying? And so it had got to a point where I wasn't caring how I relayed that information to him, but I had to tell him because it was hurting me that bad deeply that I needed him to know that every time you would say something negative about them, you're contributing to the problem. You're not helping to fix the problem, and you're supposed to love me. It's not like the child is going to be in the house forever. You have to get a child to a certain point and allow them to get out there and spread their wings. Once they get to an adult age, you don't. There's no law that says that you have to take care of them. But until then, you continue to teach them to respect you and things of that nature. And my son was real, like hot-tempered. So mind you, my son's father hadn't been in his life since he was a year and a half old. So he was looking for that father figure. So all the things that my boyfriend at the time, which is now my husband, was promising him, he was waiting for that. And that was something he never got.
And you know what? And I didn't just purposely lie and say those things. I mean, I guess I was saying those things that I thought that I was supposed to say. I was trying to be that good,
And he wanted to be with me that bad because he wanted me to move to where he was. So was that a case of I'll say whatever I want to say so that she'll move? Because that's what it ended up seeming like it was. Yeah. You just told me or told them what you felt like they wanted to hear or what I wanted to hear. And then once we moved, they there now, so I can do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't your intention. But that's how it came off. And then after a while, as the kids keep growing, if the bond is never set, because I know a lot of people know that most of the time bonds with children are created from either 7 years old and below or 5 and below, their structure and foundation. But when they meet someone within the first year or 2 years, the bond is created then. If you wait after 5 years or 4 years after being around someone and you haven't made a bond, it's too many years that went by now. Because now they've developed this sense and this feeling in their heart that says they don't give a shit about me. So why should I even give a damn about him? And the thing was, it wasn't that. Because even during the holidays and everything, my son still did stuff for my husband. My husband still did things for my son. But when he wanted to get attention, he did some crazy shit.
Yes.
He did stealing the car. Hell, I stole the car when I was younger. My mom don't know it, but I guess she'll know now if she watched this damn video. And my aunt too, I took her car, took her around the block and all,
Yeah.
But that's something that kids do. My husband, on the other hand, was not used to that. He said, who steals cars and stuff like that? where I was from, we did all kind of shit. What in the country,
we
you
had
did all
different
kind of shit.
backgrounds, y'all. You know, I honestly,
So
I'm
that
not trying to say
wasn't
I'm
no big old
perfect and
thing
stuff,
to
but we never did stuff like that. It was never nothing that major to me. I mean, we did.
Where I came from, we did it all. In the country, you had to find shit to do, you know, and that's what was your adrenaline rush, that particular piece of the day, you know. So of course, when you sold the car, I was laid back, but I was pissed off.
Let it be her damn car.
I was laid back.
Let it be her car.
You want to drive mine? Cause mine a straight drive. Can't nobody do that.
But let it been her damn car.
I'd have beat his ass.
You're damn right. You would have been mad for real and really went to his tail. So.
Look, I would have beat his ass. That's the difference. I would have beat his ass. I would have.
Could I beat his ass? No, because it's not my son.
Okay. I would have beat his ass. But I would have beat his ass and he learned his lesson. I wouldn't have kicked him out of the house. My husband, on the other hand, he made a statement that you should never say to a kid. And that was another thing he and I got in an argument because I was pissed off about the car. But when my husband told me what he said to him, that made him kind of like run away. And I said, you never tell a kid that. You never, he told me that nobody wanted him at the house and stuff. And that's not true. That might have been what my husband was feeling. But he collectively, with his statement, made it look like nobody wanted him at the house. You don't tell a kid that because inadvertently, if they're a teenager already and they're already dealing with teenage shit and stuff like that, it makes a child, and my son had already been abandoned by his biological father. So when you tell a child that, and they already going through that, wondering why their biological father doesn't want them in their life or won't do nothing for them, then you say something like that, that makes it like 20 times worse. Like, why am I even living? I can go out there and do all kinds of shit. If I get killed today or tomorrow, nobody's going to give a shit because that's what you said to him. Yeah. And I said, baby, you don't say that. And then by this time when he told me and said it, my anger changed from being mad at my son to I was pissed off at my husband for saying that. You don't do that to a kid because I
don't even think that I told you. I think he told you that because I don't think I didn't even remember that I said that. I think that you ended up bringing it to me because when you talked to him, I don't know if that really hurt him. I think
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely. He told my son told me.
Yeah.
So regardless of what was going on and the car being stolen, my son still told me that because me and my kids, because I grew up with my kids. I had kids at a young age, so I grew up with my kids. My kids told me everything.
So that must have really bothered him for him too.
My son told me that. And that's when I went to my husband. So then it caused friction between me and my husband because now I'm like a fucking mama bear. Like, what the fuck? You don't say that.
Yo, we don't want to have this video too long. The bottom line, this is rough. Huh? What's that?
That's what it is now.
Yo, bottom
keep it rolling.
line, it's rough. Yo, y'all know. Yo, comment below if you a step parent. I want to know what your experiences is. I want to know what you're going through. I want to know what you've gone through and how are you now? Is it better? You know, y'all, let's talk about it.
This topic can go on and on.
It can.
Who knows? It might be a part 3 because it's a lot more to being a step parent. It very much is. Because right now, we've only tipped the iceberg of this conversation. Because not only is a step parent, him being a step parent has inadvertently slid into him being now a parent. You see what I'm saying? So, this was episode number 2.
And not only
there'll be a 3.
It has to be. Because you know what? Even when you're a step parent, they actually living with you. What happens when they finally done made it to the 18 and they out? Yo, it's still her child.
Yes, it is.
They still want to call. They still want to. You still go through it, even when they ain't even in your house no more, y'all. So I'm
just gonna say, I thought, I used to always think, okay, it's gonna be gravy. When they get older, they're out on their own. Oh my goodness, I ain't gotta wait on them hand and foot. I ain't gotta do that because now they grown, they can take care of themselves. No. Hell no.
That's another video.
It's another section of their life that you have to deal with because now you got to teach them even more in-depth stuff about how to be an adult.
And they want to keep making mistakes because they didn't learn while they was in the house, and they wanted you to keep bailing them out.
And you got to reteach them because they thought they was grown and didn't want to listen.
Oh.
You know? So what do you do?
Man,
now, my husband's motto is, hell no, cut them loose and did. But
Don't
you
call them
can't.
off.
And you know what I
don't
told him? When I met you, your mama was still doing stuff for you, and you was a grown person. So don't do that. It was just that his animosity that he had with the stuff that had went on, he wanted me to just cut my children off. Not gonna happen.
Another video, y'all.
That's another video.
Next video.
So we try to keep these videos at 30 minutes. So this would definitely, I don't know, this topic by itself, we may end up with part 3, part 4, because it's a lot to be spoken about.
Yeah, it's just.
But like my husband said, if this topic right here is something that you're currently dealing with, or that you have dealt with and overcame it, we want to hear from you.
Yeah,
we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear how you made it. What did you do? How did that particular situation make you feel? Because even with all this being said and done and having to choose, one thing that my husband also did not understand is that I was the common denominator. I was going to continue to love him, but I'm going to continue to love my children because I had them. Nobody else can be their mother. They only have one mother. That's me.
Next video.
Please stay tuned, because this conversation, we're going to keep it going.
Let's hear it. Y'all leave them comments. Let's hear what's going on with you, how you overcame it, like my wife say, because we want to know. We want to talk with other people.
And make sure you have something to drink. I was talking a lot, so I didn't get to drink.
You see what this topic do to me?
It still do it for him. He gonna get another one.
They're not even here no more, but you see what it do?
Don't get cut. Don't get cut, because at the end of the day, baby, like I said, I have my children. His mama and daddy have him. If I told him, I don't want you talking to your mom and daddy no more, how could I say that?
I need to go refill.
He
and it's brown.
Refill. He can go refill. Jack Daniels, Jose Corbe, whatever. Paul Masson, Hennessy. Might need some XO. Or Crown Manhattan. Stay tuned for the next episode, because this topic is not over.
No, it's not, y'all.
But we do want you to know how it came out, how it ended up at the end. So please, we're going to continue talking about this conversation in the next episode. But until then, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe, y'all.
We would love to have you here with this conversation. And until then, sweethearts and gentlemen,
let me go get another one.
He's going to get another one. And I'm going to continue to unwind and speak the truth.
See ya, y'all.
See you.